Hey guys, welcome back to Chasing Moonlight Farm. I'm Renee, and today we're going to be heading out to the garden behind me here to plant some fall plants. I'm a little behind, but I think we can make it work. It's September 13th or so. We have about 60 days until our first frost here in Zone 7B in Southeast Virginia. But I think I've chosen things that will do well in the cold or well with a slight frost. If not, I have some frost blankets and hoops that I can put over. But I think most of the things that I chose, it will be fine. I'm going to show you what I chose for seeds this time for fall planting. I don't plant a whole bunch during the fall, but I do want to get some things in the ground, some things we eat. I'm not as willing to, try all the things in the fall, basically because I'm exhausted from spring and summer. And I'm ready to be done with the garden. So I'm gonna grow a few things and I'll show you what we're gonna grow here. All right, so what are we planting today? I have my basket. Just a few things today are going in. We're going to do some radishes. And this is from, I don't know if the camera will focus on that. This is from M.I. Gardner's Homestead Collection. It is a sparkler white tip radish. So that will be going in. This next one is from Haas Tools, and this is the Laurentian rutabaga. We tried rutabagas last year for the first time, and we roasted them with a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper and garlic, and they were so good. We also mashed them like mashed potatoes. We boiled them on the stove and then mashed them up, and they turned out really, really good. And you could also roast them and then mash them, whichever way you wanted to do it. But they were really good. This next one is from Victory Seeds. This is the Danvers 126 or 126. It's about a 73-day variety carrot. It's an orange carrot, just your typical orange carrot, and it's done pretty well for us. We've only planted carrots about 4 times, and they've done well twice. And honestly, I tried a tip from a gardener that I saw on YouTube, and she was from England, and she said that carrots do better in really crappy soil and really poor soil. They do better. Don't give them a lot of nitrogen. Don't give them fancy, fertilizer. They'll do much, much better in poor soil. So I tried it in the spring. I did a bed that I really didn't amend. I just had some compost in there from last year. I didn't amend it with anything. And I got a nice harvest of carrots from a very small area. So that we're going to hold that to be true, and we're going to plant there again and see what happens. Also, we have from Baker Creek some Tom Thumb lettuce and also some Rocky Top blend lettuce. And this is a salad blend. It has some different rare varieties mixed in with it. And what I do with the lettuces is I sow them really, really close together so that I get basically a come and cut again lettuce. The Tom Thumb lettuce is actually a head lettuce. It's a small head of lettuce. If you let it go to make its full head, it's a small head lettuce. But I'm going to be just cutting it for cut and come again type situation. The last one is the American Purple Top rutabaga, and these are the ones I grew last year and really, really liked. Now, this is the first time that I'm growing the Laurentian rutabaga, so we'll see how I like them. This one looks more like a creamy yellow, and this is your typical white rutabaga with the purple top. So we're going to plant those two and see how they compare. We're going to do collards. We have tried the Georgia Southern variety, which supposedly do really well here in the South, but they did not do well for us. They did okay in the spring, but last fall they did not do well. And then I re-sowed them because they're supposedly very heat tolerant, and they did not do well in the summer, early summer. So we are going to stick with the Vates collards, try those again. And we really, really like to use these just as a saute. We saute with garlic and salt and pepper just in a skillet with some bacon grease. And they are so, so yummy. so those are our seeds. Let's go see where we're going to plant them. Okay, so these are the 3 beds that we're going to be doing some fall planting in today. I'll probably do my lettuce right here in this small square. It's about a 4x4, and then I have a 4x4 here. We're probably gonna do, let me think, what am I gonna put there? I think I'm gonna do the radishes here. And then over here, let me move this wire out. I'll talk to you about the wire that I have on the garden here in a moment. But this is a full 4x12 bed, and I'm gonna split this and do half, let's see, rutabaga, half carrot. Yes, this is where the carrots did so well in the spring. So I'm gonna put the carrots here again, and then I'm gonna do the rutabagas down there. Okay, back here, we have one more area, and this is where I will put the collards. I tried the collards here in early summer. and they didn't do great, but I'm going to try again. I pulled all this out. It's been mulched again with some straw. So I'm going to try collards here again. I do have some okra plants that are kind of shading this a little bit, so I'm a little concerned about germination and early growth right here. So I may pull out the okra. That's the thing about the South. You get this temperature where you still have some really good things that are thriving, like the okra and a few tomatoes. I have some rattlesnake beans here that are I'm trying a third round of those. But then it's time for your fall planting, so you have to kind of give up things. So we're going to give up some of this summer stuff and get going on planting collards here. Okay, so here we are. This is where we're going to put the collards this fall. And these have kind of poor germination rates, so I'm going to sow these pretty heavily, and I'm okay with that. If we get a bunch of plants that pop up and have great germination, then I will just thin those out. And right now this is pretty heavily mulched, so I'm gonna have to dig through some of this straw to get these planted, but we're gonna get started doing that. So let's get going. Okay, so I got all this planted with collards, and I pulled out the okra, and I'm gonna leave this bare. I'm not gonna mulch it until they germinate and we can see how they're growing. I'll let that go for a while and just keep the straw along the side of the bed or whatever. A word about these. We have to use these. These are just woven wire fencing. You could use chicken wire, but if you have a lot of cats on your property, we have 5 cats. We attract strays all the time. And my children want to keep the strays, and they want to use my garden beds for litter boxes, as you can imagine. So this has worked really well. Also, the straw by itself works really well because it's hard on their paws and they don't like stepping on that hard straw. But if worse comes to worse, you can do the woven wire. You can put it down in sheets after you've sown your seeds, and then mulch, and then put your woven wire over it. Right now I'm just throwing it down as is until we get some good germination going here, and then I'll mulch better and put it back down. All right, next we're gonna work on this 4x4 bed. We already took the
the fencing off, and what we have left is just some leaves. It's not mulched very heavily, so we should be able to rough this up and go ahead and plant directly in this without having to take a thick layer of mulch off. Maybe just rub it to the side and see how this works. I'm probably gonna do 2, maybe 3 rows. How do I want to do this? 3 and 3, maybe 4. We'll just see how it plays out. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna run my finger down the row here, and I'm just gonna make rows with my finger. And like I said earlier, here Naomi, bring me those lettuces. These are the 2 I'm planting, the Tom Thumb Dwarf and the Rocky Top, and I'm going to use these as cut and come again, so it doesn't matter how close they are. Here you go, sweetie. So it doesn't matter how close they are. We're gonna sow them really heavy and just have a whole big bed of lettuce here to come and eat off of probably until the frost hits. It might make it into the frost. I might cover that with hoops for the frost, but we'll do that at a later time. Okay, well, I lost my gardening buddy. She went on a walk with her dad, and that's fine. But we have one bed left here, and we're going to do half in carrots, the Danvers 126, and then half in rutabaga, a couple rows of Laurentian and a couple rows of the purple top. And we'll see how that works out. I just loosened it up just very on the top a little bit because it's been sitting for a while. We had carrots here earlier in the spring and then nothing grew here, so it's kind of packed. It was kind of packed down. So I just roughed it up with a garden rake and we're gonna get to planting this. Okay, this is where my mic went out, but I'm showing you all the things that I started in the midsummer that are still growing. So that's it, guys. We got everything I wanted to get planted today planted. We're going to be back with a fall garden clean out and a fall garden clean out and tour, and we're going to check on these new fall plantings to see how they're doing, so you won't want to miss it. Thanks so much for watching Chasing Moonlight Farm. I'll catch you next time. Bye.